Hey, what's going on out there? I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. And in this video, I wanted to go over the T-RackS 5 Max version 2, the Mastering Suite by IK Multimedia. Now, this here is $50. I got this about a month ago, so I've been using it for that month. And I will say, I do agree with a lot of these 5-star settings. I got mine actually with Klarna, so it was $12.49 for every 2 weeks, 4 payments. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, the first thing I have here is the emulation of the 1176. So let's go ahead and bring that up and let's listen to it. Now, one thing about this compressor is the settings are inverted. So normally your one would be a fast attack and your one would be a fast release, but on this it's the opposite. So 7 is the fastest and 1 is the slowest. So a lot of engineers, they kind of use this, I guess it's called the cross-side setting. Some of Dr. Dre's engineers use this setting. So you want a very slow attack to let the transients in, and then you want a quick release to let it go. And it's usually used on like your master chain or a drum bus. So let's listen to that. So there's quite a few plugins to go through. I'm gonna remove that. As you can see, a lot comes in this bundle. I don't know how many effects come in. I'm not gonna go over all of them, but we'll go over some of the ones I think are very good. So now we have this British channel, and as we could see here, we have a gate area, we have a compressor area, and then we have an EQ area. So let's go ahead and mess around with that a little bit. As you can see, we have a low pass filter, a high pass filter, or a low pass filter here, high pass filter here, and yeah, you have your in and outs. So there's that. Next, we have the bus compressor. So this is the one that I use on all of my mastering chains. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Now this grit here, this is adding like some type of harmonic distortion, and we have a sidechain high pass. So whatever you set it to, any frequencies below that will not be compressed. So again, this is something that I use on every single one of my mastering chains. I used to use the Waves SSL, but this has taken over. So next is the classic clipper. I got this one individually a while back, but it comes with the bundle. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Now, it's very simple. So we have the slope here, a more relaxed slope kind of slowly curves off your transients. Whereas when we go to the right, this is a hard knee, so it kind of just cuts your transients right off. and then we push the gain to get our gain reduction, and then we can, toggle the output to get it to the level that we like. So next is let's see, the compressor. This is an emulation of the distressor. So I use this quite a bit too. So let's listen to this. Now with this, we're using the input to push it in, just like the clipper here. We're going to use the input to push it in and give us more gain reduction. Now I saw an engineer use the actual distressor, and he was saying like 5 release and 5 attack is a good starting point. And then you might want to play with the release more so than the attack, but that's up to you. We have a mid-side mode here, and we have a dry wet knob so we can blend in the signal, a tone here, and the distortion is something I like. I think number 2 sounds best for me. So, and I think, yeah, over here we have a high pass filter and a low pass. So let's go to the next one. Now we have a few reverbs here. I'm not going to go over all of these. Let's use the plate. And all of these kind of look the same. They're just different colors. And of course, they're different types of reverbs. So let's go ahead and pull that up. So this might not sound the best on an overall mix, but definitely using this on vocals or maybe snares or some type of percussion works wonders. Now they have an advanced mode here, and with this, you can really get into the timing of the reverb, the type of reverb, the color of the reverb, reflection, echo, all of these things. Or if you're like me, you just, maybe go through some presets here or, dial it in yourself. So that's the plate. And to show you that these are almost about the same in the look of the VST, I'll pull up the room reverb. And as you can see, it's the same advanced mode. It's just a different type of reverb. So next we have a de-esser. I didn't use this before, so let's look at this. So let's play with this a little bit. So we have the range here, which lets us pick what frequency range we want to DS. Now we can actually move it down and then use this to kind of, actually, I guess the range just goes with this. This is what we use to DS, and then we have a listening mode and the type of DS here. So, and then we have a release. So there's that. Now we have some EQs. Now I want to find the one because like if we go to this EQ here, let me show you. Now this is the Neve. I believe this is emulated after the Neve EQ. So while I have it up, we'll just go ahead and experiment with it. So as you can see, we have some shelves here. We have a low, actually a high pass filter at the bottom right. And we just set the frequency range, and then we use this to boost or gain. So there's one here that I don't see at the moment, but essentially what it is, so if I go up to this EQ, I believe this was the one I was looking at earlier. Okay, so this EQ here is a classic EQ, but it doesn't have a frequency response. So I'll go ahead and play it. So this is more for if you want to just use your ears, but they do have an EQ here where it has a frequency response. Let's see if I can't find it. I believe this is it. Yeah. So this is just your classic EQ. And I wanted to mention that all of these are resizable. Like you can really push it in, and it's high quality, as you can see. And then we can kind of pull it back. So they have a wide variety of different EQs here. Now this is the reverb that I really like. I haven't used it much, but I'm going to use more of it. I believe this is the one, or it could be the Sunset. This one and the Sunset. So let's listen to these reverbs. So as you can see, it's and you can actually look around the room, which is pretty cool. But they're just different room reverbs, different studios and booths. And then you can select the source position, whether you want the spread to be broad or focused, and then your EQ and pre-delay and decay times and things of that nature. So we have this Leslie here. I like this. I have a Leslie in PreSonus Studio One, but if you don't have that, this comes with the bundle. Now, of course, you can go through the presets and, they have a nice amount of presets, but I like to dial in my settings. And you can also manipulate, the levels of the horn if you want one side louder than the other. So a good effect. Let's go to, what else do we have here? The Opto Comp. I'm not sure what this is. Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is emulated after a British compressor. I could be wrong, but yeah, you have your compression, which is pretty much your gain. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's keep it moving. Most of these compressors have different character to it. We have an imager here, so let's go ahead and pull this imager up. Now, a good rule of thumb for imaging like mixes or maybe like, a bus is something that I learned is like you kind of want a inverted Christmas tree. So your low end should be more mono, and then as you go up in frequency, you want to widen it up like that. So they have an imager in the bundle as well. We have some delays. Oh, the saturator X. I use this a lot too. So let's go ahead and pull this in. So if you're listening in headphones, you can hear this iron has a lot of artifacts. I usually use the steel or the iron because it's not too much drive. And I find when I use some of these other settings, it's just too much. So let's listen to the iron real quick. It's almost like a buzzing sound. All right, so I use that an awful lot. We come to, I'm not sure what this is, the TR5 suite. I think I know what this is. It's a chain. Yeah, so this is where you would chain together your effects. And you can just go down here and add in your effects and make your own little chain. So you have that. The Sunset Studio. Now this is the one that I liked as well. Let's listen to this. So essentially, each reverb type has three different rooms, if you will. You know, you can do your high pass filtering, your decay, pre-delay, mic placement, you know, some pretty good options here. So now we get into, I'm going to move into the tapes. I just lost my, let's go ahead and bring back up. I can easy fix, can do this and do that. Now we have my scope back. Okay, so I want to get into some of these tape machines here. Before I do that, let's try this tape echo and pull this up. So this switch right here, we can sync it to the tempo of our track, or we can, you know, use the milliseconds and get a little weird with it. So again, the tape machines. So I'll bring this one in. This is the one that I use on my master channel. So let's go ahead and play this. Now, one thing that I did notice is when you go through these different types of tapes, it affects the low end. So what I feel like, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but the lower the number or the different type of tape in reference to the position, that's how much low end you're going to get. So I tend to use the 456. Actually, I've been using the input. So when you select the input, it bypasses all of these options and it's just like the saturation of the tape. But when you go through the reproduce, then you go through the different tape speeds and tape types. And then we have here, we can do a high frequency EQ, low frequency EQ, things of that nature. And the tape speed, let's listen to the different types of tape speeds real quick. Now, to me, the lower tape speed gives a more lo-fi. It sounds like the fidelity is lost a little bit, and the higher tape speed, you gain that fidelity. So let's go to maybe one more tape. Actually, two. I'll go to a tape machine, and then I'll go to the Tascam. So I want to say the 99. Okay, yeah, this 99. Now, listening to another YouTuber, he was saying like this actually has a cleaner low end. So let's listen to it. Now, as you can see with this one, the tape speed gets really low. And we still have the same options. We have the input. We can just switch the input or go to reproduce. Your same options here. All of them have the same ones for the tape machines. Transport modeling, the stereo, you know, they're just put in different positions. So it's something you can play around with. Now, I haven't used these Tascam yet, the Tascam tape recorders yet, but I definitely will on some of my projects. So let's listen to these. So we have that one, and let's try. Actually, this is another tape machine, if I'm not mistaken. Let's try this 388. Now, I believe this one is more of a professional Tascam tape machine, whereas the one that I brought before was a home version of it. So you have both of those. And let's look at one more, the LA2A emulation here. And there you have it. So with this, you just, increase the peak reduction to get your gain reduction. And that's pretty much it. Usually people use this on vocals to kind of center the vocal in the mix and give it more, focus. But as you can see, there's a lot of other, modules that I didn't cover. But $50 for all of this is a steal in my opinion. So I'd like to thank you for watching. And until next time, peace.